What is up, friend? Welcome back. Today, enjoying some sun while making this piece of delicious content for you. I'm going to talk to you about how to be creative, and specifically I'm going to give you two sort of mindset shifts, aka brain hacks, aka process hacks that have helped me create so much content in my life and just really amplify and build the muscle of creativity. And you can use this process with any creative skill. It doesn't have to be content creation. I've just used it mostly for content creation, but you could use it to learn how to DJ, learn how to dance. You could use it to learn how to write better. You can use it to learn how to cook better. Like it really, these two mindset shifts will change your life. And this concept, let's call it the garbage creation mentality. And this is sort of my interpretation of a concept that was taught to me by one of my mentors, Simone Soul. I give her full credit. She actually has a podcast episode about this in her Joyful Marketing podcast right over here. You've got to understand that when you're creating any new skill, or even whether it's content creation, learning guitar, even learning how to dance, learning how to lift weights,
you're going to be garbage.
It's inevitable. Like, you've actually got to pay your dues in garbage before you actually earn the right to be good at that thing and to be recognized as somebody who's good at that thing, right? So with video editing, for example, which is something I'm practicing by doing this channel as well. Let's say you're trying to start a podcast. A great way to get yourself to actually get good at speaking in front of a podcast is to be willing to create garbage podcasts on purpose. Like, ask yourself, what are some garbage ideas I have for a podcast? And then execute on those ideas. And you don't necessarily have to post them, but honestly, part of, I think, the growth of it is posting them. But it's like asking yourself, how could I purposefully do this thing that I'm learning to be more creative in a garbage way? Right? So with videos, right? Like right now I'm starting this YouTube channel and my mindset is like, how could I create a video that my brain thinks is garbage and post that anyways? How can I edit it in a way that's a little bit garbage? And when you're willing to get messy in that way, you actually take more risks and you create more. And here's something that I've realized about creativity is like, imagine that creativity is like a little person that lives inside of you. Creativity with a capital C, and they live in the village of your human psyche. And creativity is constantly giving you ideas every moment, every day. Like right now, it could be giving you ideas about a creative project you want to get started on or a creative skill you want to learn. But every time creativity gives you an idea and you take action on it, your brain is like, this is garbage. This isn't good enough. And you're judging creativity. How do you think that makes them feel? When every time it gives you an idea, you say, this idea is not enough. It's garbage. I want something better. Creativity. Like, or you create something, you trust what creativity gives you, you create it, and then as you're like looking through and reviewing it, you're like, this sucked. I could have done better. God, like, I'm so bad at this. Like, again, everything you're saying, it's like you're saying it to creativity that lives inside of you and they're a person. Now, if you're dating someone and you just said, everything you do sucks, nothing you do is good enough, would they trust you? Would they keep giving you what you want? No. So it's the same thing with creativity. Your creativity is giving you garbage ideas, but instead of taking action on them, you're judging them as not good enough. Why? If you were dating creativity, they would probably ditch your ass, ghost you, and stop giving you ideas. And what happens is when you start saying yes to and taking action on your garbage ideas in whatever it is in life, and you're willing to be messy, then creativity starts to trust you more, and they give you like bigger, better ideas that are higher quality, and you'll actually have the skills to take action on them because you've created so much garbage in the past. I also want to offer you this, that we're so much harsher on ourselves than what people actually think. So what you think that you created is garbage might actually be someone's salvation, someone's inspiration. Someone might be breathtaken by that thing. Obviously, this mindset can be applied to like content creation and things like that. But you might even consider, like, if you're learning a new skill like guitar or how to lift weights, like part of the process is that at first you're gonna suck. So anytime you do suck at something, practice celebrating. Yes, I sucked. That means I'm getting better. Right? Anytime you were messy, anytime you stuttered on a video, celebrate that mistake and you sort of tally mark the mistakes as like a point system in which you showed up and put in a repetition in this creative skill that you're trying to build.
Number 2.
And this is one that I don't think a lot of people talk about, but as a creative, it's super important that you create more than you consume, and you create before consuming. Let's define consuming as basically observing somebody else's art, right? So if you're a musician and you're a producer, you're trying to produce music, oftentimes what people will do is they'll listen to creators that inspire them, producers that inspire them, and then go create. But what this does is it completely washes over your unique creativity, and it starts to infuse your work with somebody else's creativity, and it starts to sound unoriginal. Like if you do this a lot, your content will start to look like somebody else's content. If you're a content creator, if you're a producer, your music is going to sound like your idols. And there's nothing wrong with, having creative inspiration and having idols, so to speak. But over time, it's really important that as you're starting to create more, that you start to develop your own voice by creating more than you consume. Like, literally, if you were to measure how much time you spend creating and how much time you spend consuming, are you consuming way more than creating? This is a good sign that your creativity is going to start to get watered down by other people's mind, by other people's art, by other people's thoughts. In order to learn how to have your own thoughts, in order to learn how to create your own concepts, your own ideas, and to be a thought leader within the field or art or thing that you're practicing, it's super freaking important that you create before you consume, and you consume very little. So these are some ways that I'm doing it, but I'm kind of an extremist, so you don't have to go as far as me unless you want to, right? Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. How I'm doing this now is I'm only downloading the Instagram app if I'm gonna post something, and then right after I post it, I delete it. I know that's super extreme, but it's been really helping me to be with my own thoughts as a life coach, as someone who teaches self-improvement in this sort of mysterious, fun, playful, mischievous way. Like it's really important for me to do that. So I'm also on Instagram, I'm unfollowing anybody who does what I do. So life coaches I unfollow, right? Or I mute them. I'm also not really scrolling at all anymore. What I have been scrolling is YouTube to watch World of Warcraft videos because I love gaming, but I'm not a Twitch streamer. I'm not like a gaming content creator, so it's not watering down my creativity at all. It's just something I do for entertainment and to release dopamine hits. But for the most part, I am completely scroll free, other than like the occasional gaming videos here and there, right? And I also I have my own podcast, and I very rarely listen to podcasts nowadays. I might listen to one every 2 weeks, if even, because I want to have my own ideas and really be with my own wisdom. Another way that you can practice this concept number 2, which is to create more than you consume, is to sit in boredom and in silence. A big thing that a lot of people do that completely kills their energy, completely kills their creativity, completely kills original ideas, is that they fill every moment of silence and every moment of boredom with stimulation, with picking up the phone, with another podcast, with a Netflix TV show, with needing to talk to somebody, needing to hang out with somebody, they fill every void of emptiness with some sort of stimulant, some sort of distraction, smoking weed, drinking. None of these things are wrong in nature, but when every moment of silence and boredom and stillness is filled with those things, then creativity's voice, which is actually more of a whisper, is gonna get drowned out by noise. And I personally believe that in that void, in that stillness, in that silence, when you're closing your eyes and watching the black behind your eyelids as if it's a movie screen about to turn on, that's where God, the muse, the creative voice, inspiration strikes in that silence. But the ticket, the gateway, is how willing are you to feel bored? It's a tough one, especially in this society that romanticizes constantly being addicted to some sort of distraction. I promise you, when you do these two things, your creative skill is going to amplify. So I challenge you to try this. This week, ask yourself, how can I take as many garbage actions as possible towards that creative skill that I'm looking to build? And, you know, bonus extra credit on this quest is, and at the end of every one of these episodes that I create, I'm gonna give you like an actionable quest. A quest that you can do is to actually take action on those things, and the bonus quest is to post them, share them with somebody. Show, like, let's say you're practicing guitar, be garbage in front of somebody, right? Let's say you're starting a YouTube channel, post the video that your brain thinks is garbage and start to trick your nervous system, right? Start to tell your body that it's safe to take up space in all your ideas, and even those ideas that you think are garbage, somebody else might actually be obsessed with it. If you really enjoyed this content, like, subscribe, comment, share it with somebody. So much more coming. Vlogs, anime psychology breakdowns, and really anything I want to freaking create. Am I allowed to curse on YouTube? Does that censor me? I keep saying freaking, but I really want to say Anyways, thank you so much. You could have been anywhere else with your time and you chose to spend it with me. Peace.